Former UFC heavyweight champ Cain Velasquez has been appointed as team manager in the newly established GFL Global Fight League, a team-based mixed martial arts organization. He was selected by longtime trainer Javier Mendez of American Kickboxing Academy to serve as the team's head coach. GFL plans to launch 6 teams featuring both male and female fighters and aims to split revenue equally between fighters and the promotion. The league's draft is scheduled for January 24th, which oddly is the same date as Velasquez's sentencing hearing in Santa Clara County Court, California, where he faces charges including attempted murder. If he does serve time, obviously he's not going to be able to coach, but the judge may rule he'll serve no more time. He was already locked up for 8 months before being released on $1 million bail in November 2022. Tamaris Vidal signs with the GFL. She fought in the UFC in October and lost to Jocelyn Edwards, which made it 3 losses in a row, so she's no longer in the UFC and signs with the GFL. They got about 60 women on their roster who are draft eligible on the 24th of this month. Mansour Abdulmalik versus Antonio Tricoli set for UFC Seattle on February 22nd. Mansour is a highly touted prospect, coming off the Contender Series this season, making his UFC debut. He trains out of Extreme Couture with the likes of Sean Strickland and Chris Curtis. Antonio Tricoli is the former boyfriend of Mackenzie Dern. He's 0-2 in the UFC, stopped in both fights, lost to Trayshawn Gore, and lost to Shara Bullet Magomedov. Besides this fight, they've announced 8 other fights for the UFC Seattle card. Ketlin Vieira versus Macy Chiasson, Curtis Blades versus Rizwan Kuniev. Kuniev has a huge opportunity making his UFC debut. Could be in the top 5 with the win. Barboza versus Garcia, which will be a banger of a fight. John Silva, who always brings bangers to the cage, taking on Melsik Bagdasarian, Fugit Dulatov, Bukowskis Cerquera, Kutalaba Islan, which will also be crazy, and Brendan Allen versus Anthony Hernandez. Great rematch in the middleweight division. That's number 13 and 9 at 185. Anthony Hernandez won the first fight in LFA via decision. Regarding Khabib saying Dagestan's level of MMA is way higher than Ireland's, Paul Hughes says, just wait till I get my hands on your boy. He takes on Usman Magomedov on the 25th in Dubai. Khabib does give credit to Paul Hughes though, but it's good promotion for the fight still. Some people who don't like what Khabib says will bring up that the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, has described doping among Russian competitors as state-sponsored and systemic. They also bring up Bellator's Usman Nurmagomedov failed the drug test and was suspended 6 months. This was just over a year ago, November 2023. And also Makhachev, at the age of 24, tested positive for meldonium as a result of an out-of-competition urine sample he provided on April 4, 2016. Meldonium is a non-specific substance that was added to the WADA prohibited list in 2016. But Makhachev and his supporters will say Makhachev and his team claimed to stop using the drug before it was banned in 2016. The case was eventually dropped by USADA after determining that the levels of meldonium in the system were consistent with use before its ban, meaning no intentional violation occurred. And the incident hasn't significantly affected his career. He's built a clean anti-doping record since and become the UFC champ. Paul Hughes also fires back at Khabib Nurmagomedov saying, "Conor made you famous." But again, Khabib acknowledges that Conor and Paul are good fighters out of Ireland, but he says aside from them, there ain't that many. But he forgot to mention Ian Gary, and of course there are more good Irish fighters, such as Cal Loughran, who has just been added to the UFC London card March 22nd. He'll be taking on Nathan Fletcher. They got some decent heavy and light heavyweight fights on the card, like Tybura Parkin, Blachowicz, Ulberg, Menefield C. They need a main event, possibly Leon Edwards versus Jack Della Maddalena. Jacqueline Amarine wants to fight maybe March or maybe early April in Miami. She's coming off a victory over Vanessa Demopoulos. A women's fight has been added to the March 15th card. That's Sam Hughes versus Stephanie Luciano. Also on that card, Ryan Spans moving up to the heavyweight division, taking on Waldo Cortez Acosta. Andre Lima will be fighting Daniel Barres. And another women's fight is on the card, Carly Judas versus Yanesi Dubin. Jan Blachowicz training for his fight with Carlos Ulberg March 22nd in London. He's also training with Mariusz Pudzianowski, 5-time world's strongest man, and also a 27-fight veteran in MMA. Former UFC heavyweight Parker Porter will be taking on Chase Gormley February 1st at the BKFC show at the Mohegan Sun. Gormley is a former Bellator fighter. Parker Porter had 8 fights in the UFC. His last one was in 2023 against Junior Tafa, and Tafa knocked him out. Actually, within the span of 6 months, both Tafa brothers knocked him out. And both of them did it in just over a minute. Junior Tafa in 1:24, and Justin Tafa in 1:05. BKFC President David Feldman stands by Conor McGregor. I don't condone any bad things that may have happened, but what I do support 100% is loyalty. You're with someone through good and bad, not just with them through the good. Talking about Conor being civilly liable in that assault case, BKFC is going to have a big $25 million tournament this year. Details most likely coming later this month. Gane still training, working around his injury. He recently suffered an injury to his foot during his fight with Volkov at 310. He shared x-ray images that showed that he sustained fractures in multiple toes, specifically metatarsals, which occurred at the start of the first round. Despite the injury, Gane continued to fight and secured the split decision victory, but it was one of the most controversial decisions of 2024. Merab Dvalishvili has high praise for Ilia Toporia's game. He sparred with him, and Ilia Topuria is able to push him up against the wall, and he says he can't do anything. He just keeps coming forward. You can't take him down. He sprawls so big, and his wrestling defense is really good, and his jiu-jitsu is really good. And he just keeps marching forward, keeps on throwing big punches. Ailin Perez training for a fight with Carol Hoza in a couple weeks' time, January 18th at UFC 311. Paddy turned 30 today, but he says the experience was ruined by this travel company. Thank you for ruining my 30th birthday, TUI. Sold us the dream and lied about everything about this hotel. Promised the world, but this hotel is more like hell. I wouldn't recommend anybody book a holiday with TUI, as they lie to you before you get here, and then once you're there, they don't care about you. They already got your money, and you're just a commodity to them. Cannot believe how bad this hotel actually is. It's not a 5-star hotel, it's more like a 2-star hotel. Can't believe how bad the service is. Nobody cares about the guests, and yet it's billed a 5-star hotel. I've had better service at a 2-star. Paddy wants to return at UFC Fight Night London on March 22nd. Rumors started that he's gonna fight Michael Chandler possibly, when Paddy said fight news coming soon. See you at the top. Shavkat Rakhmonov's sister Sora Rakhmonova is on a billboard in Kazakhstan, and it says basically we are against drugs. She says, as an athlete who raised the flag of our country, we encourage young people to stay away from harmful substances and live a healthy lifestyle. She was supposed to be on the Contender Series last season, but she pulled out of the fight. It could have been the first brother-sister combo in the UFC. Maybe Alex Pereira and Ailin Pereira one day, but Ailin is only 1-2 in her career. However, she's doing well in karate combats. But the other Pereira, Alice Pereira, just got her UFC contract, so she'll be fighting in 2 or 3 months. And you can tell she's a long, lanky striker, so it'll be interesting how she does at 135. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, donate via Super Thanks, and hit the notification bell as well.